Well, hello. Day two along my new journey is complete. Let me give you some background about my mother. She's a beautiful lady. She raised four girls along with my father. She's a retired law enforcement officer from a correctional facility. But in death, dealing with death, no one should judge anyone else for how they grieve. Everyone grieves differently, and shoulda, woulda, coulda that isn't the time when a person dies, because you never know how you're going to react or what you would do when that when a person close to you dies. So my mother losing a child, well, she lost my little brother, my only baby brother, 12 hours after he was born. And then, and also I got hit by a car at the age of 4. But then to grow up and see your children thrive and do better, but then they die, that takes a lot out of you. I've seen all these things through my mother. So when she asked me when my little sister died first, I told you all, my older sister died the first year. Then the second year, in 2010, my younger sister died. So dealing with that, you have the loss of the child, the loss of a child. So you have to agree with that, not seeing them, not talking to them, not hearing their voices. You can't do anything for them anymore. Nothing. You can't have your little arguments, nothing. So, yes, everyone grieves differently. Now they had children. So the issues with the fathers and the the families that want to be in the children's lives as well, and then involving the court system in it instead of handling it a certain way, especially if you're in the quote unquote ministry. I wrote a book about it, and I have a third one coming out. It's under publication right now, but it's a lot of stuff that I have been seeing and my mother has been going through. So, dealing with that, the loss, the grieving her children, and then all the drama and mess and bullshit that comes along with the family members of the children and whatnot, and saying we can't have visitation and griping over visitation and all that kind of stuff. She began to have seasonal depression spells, and I saw this because when she asked me to come back or to live with her or to stay with her or to be there for her, that's my mom, and she raised me well. She was wonderful. So when she asked me, I did it. I don't have any children. I'm not with my husband because I did get married. That's a whole nother story too. I wrote about that in the book too. You can go to my blog page, www.facebook.com/slash truly Yolanda. Yolanda is spelled YALONDA slash, and you'll see my blog page. But dealing with all that and coming back to live with my mother, well, first, when I got a when I left my husband, I lived with my father. Then my little sister died in 2010, so I came back to live with mom because I wasn't going to let my mom stay in the house by herself while she's grieving. My father can, he could cope, or he knew how to cope. But mama, I had to come stay with mama. So, and my dad liked that. He had some issues. He wanted me to stay with him, but he saw that I needed to stay with my mom as well. So, I forgot what I was, what I was, how I was doing this. But after I left my husband, I went and stayed with my dad, then my mom after my little sister died. So as the years went on, 2011 on up to 19, I saw that she was having grieving or seasonal grieving sessions, birthdays, holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. So I saw this, and it would get every seasonal, every season would be different. So when my father and I, one of the children's fathers started giving us problems about having visitation with my youngest sister's child. So every time my mother would have issues, she would call my father. She and my father, all that they were divorced. They became close, got closer. They had to get close because the children's death and the grandchildren brought them back together. They never would get back together, but they were so close. So, when my father died, all of a sudden, in 2019, it's like, she told me, it's like, I'm alone now. It's all on me now. That was her. So she felt like everything was on her. I want to do this over, but then again, I don't. I just want to flow with it. She felt like everything was on her. So, she felt that I don't need this. I'm gonna get over this. I just need time in the bed, time alone, and everything will be fine. I wrote about that in the book too, so I'm not gonna go too far into that. As for me, when she finally did decide to go to the hospital to see what was wrong with her, and then they admitted her to the hospital and then admitted her into rehab. As for me, the way I coped, or the way I eased or managed my stress, what I was going through, I did a lot of yard work. I planted flowers all around the house. I picked up things. I did a whole bunch of work outside. I chopped wood. I went and got rocks from the park in my neighborhood. Had a whole bunch of rocks in the back of the neighborhood, in the back of the park. So I did I did a lot of landscaping around my house to, just relax and take my mind off of constantly thinking about my mom being away from home, getting treatment, going through. They will tell me things about she's doing this and she's pulling the IVs out her arm and she's hollering and we can't get her under control because my mom my mom retired from being a security guard or working for the Department of Correction in Wrightsville in the state of Arkansas. So, and then she raised 4 girls after my father and she divorced. She did her part and she made sure that we were women and acted like women and did our own thing. And she made sure we had some sense of of independence inside of us, so that if we didn't have a man, or if a man wasn't in our lives, we can make it, and we can do it. We didn't always need a man. Oh, I don't have no man, I can't do nothing. That wasn't allowed. So I know I'm babbling and I'm going off. I'm kind of sleepy. Well, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I have to adjust to or adapt to this new way of living, of doing things just for this moment, because I know my mom is going to get well. I believe it. Can't nobody tell me wrong or tell me anything else. I have my God. First of all, I was raised in church, so don't come for me, but you got to go a little bit deeper if you want a good understanding of religion, of God, of who God is. And I'm black, so I had to go real deep into the African studies, into the African meaning of that, of our God. Who were we, and what did we believe in before we were slaves? That's how deep I had to go. And you got to go even deeper if you want to get to the truth. There is no, you can never go deep enough, because it's always deeper. Deeper you can go. So while she was away in rehab receiving treatment, I worked around in my yard, in my gardens, planting flowers, I planted a full garden. Matter of fact, I ate some greens out of my garden, Sunday, because today is Monday morning. So I made some I got some greens out of my garden and fixed them up, prepared them, and ate some today. So you have to do things around whatever you need to do, or whatever comes in your mind for you to do, to help get yourself, to help place your mind somewhere else besides being on that stress. Whatever passion you have, do that. Don't just sit up and around the house and mope and wonder, because that's going to make you crazy. That's going to drive you crazy and damn near insane if you don't do anything else. If you're just constantly thinking about it, and it's on your mind about what's going to happen. What if, you just got to put it in God's hands, your higher power's hands, and just leave it there. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. But find your faith, whatever your faith is, and whatever you feel comfortable in believing in, even if you believe in yourself. Because the truly, God is within you. So you have to do that. But while she was away, I planted flowers around my yard, wherever I saw fit, whatever pot, bucket, can, corner. If you got to chop down some bushes to plant you some flowers amongst the spot and some bushes, do that. Whatever you have to do to ease your mind and to make you feel better, to give you a sense of peace or a sense of stability while your loved one is somewhere receiving treatment. Do that, because you're still living. At the end of the day, you're better, but your person is not. And even now, okay, mom is home, and she can't walk at the moment. I have to do things for her at the moment. But as she called me in her room to take a shirt off, to do some things for her. And I had to lean over on her, and she was like, "Ooh." She was like, "Yolanda, I feel something on you. I feel that And she said, I feel like you, the remote, there was a remote in her rehab, the room she was in. And she said every time it would lay on her, she would feel a jolt or a charge on her. And she didn't like it because she said it would shock her. So when I laid on her, she felt my energy. She felt that charge coming through me, going into her. But she said it was a good feeling. So, and then that reminded me of, I study in, okay, I study everything. I have to study everything. I got hit by a car. They said I've been always judged for my, well, judged in every area of my life. So when it came to school and education, they always, can she remember? Can she do so? I went to college for a while, but after only getting so far in college and couldn't really concentrate because I wanted that money now, so I decided to work instead of going to college. Don't judge me. I worked, I got a job, I took some college classes, but then I worked to help myself out at home. So I worked, what was I talking about? Yeah, okay. When I got out of college, or when I decided not to go to college anymore, my education didn't stop right there. There's all kind of used books at I like going to thrift stores, secondhand stores. There's all kind of books and education. If you go into a thrift store, students throw away or give away used books. Professors give away used books. You can find everything. If you want to be educated, if you want to educate yourself on any kind of knowledge, there's YouTube. You can go to an old store, to a thrift store, and get those books. There's all kind of ways. Whatever you want to do in life, you can do it. So I educated myself on whatever I thought interested me. And a lot of things interested me. And one of the things that I knew, and this was always talked about when I was younger, everything is energy. So I know by everything being energy, even me. I mean, I, I myself, and people in general, you're really right here. This is just body or shell. That's like when my sister just died. That was just their body. But this right here is where they were, up in their forehead. Is where they were, that little bitty dot. And it comes out. Their orb comes out. So that energy, while I myself am inside this body, my energy is flowing out. So my mother felt my energy healing her. But that's what happened today. My mind is going from everywhere right now. But yeah, I'll talk more tomorrow night. Or I might get on and make a video throughout the day. But as I said, this is just when something life changing happens in my life. I write about it. I talk about it. I do some kind of form of journalism of expressing myself and my thoughts. And this is one of the ways. This is the way this time. So, thank you for tuning in, for watching me. And I'll see you all later. Good night, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're watching me. Thank you. Bye-bye.